The disassembly to remove old crank pin and replace with the new crank pin on the DXM14 PIP LC. Parts. Some parts listed may not be required or included. Check your packing list for specific parts. With the press open, place a block or stopper to hold the upper platen in place. This will make reassembly easier. You will use a 9/16 wrench to remove the thickness adjustment knob. You will remove the enclosure with a Phillips screwdriver. Please know that the block drive pins are secured with Loctite. You will need to use a torch to apply heat or a torque wrench to remove. The first step will be to remove the drive pins on both sides of the machine. These can be loosened with the correct Allen wrench. The next step is to remove the screws and small plate that covers the pin towards the back of the machine. You will do this on both sides. Once the pin is exposed on both sides, you will push and remove that pin from the machine. Remove the pin retainers from both sides of the link stabilizers. You will remove the center pin from the link stabilizers. You will remove the spring plate and both link stabilizers. You will need to remove handle stop block using a 9/16 to allow rotation to remove the main links from the pin rod. The main links will come out next. You will need to remove the pin rod from in between the main links as well. The bushing on the outside should be towards the top. The bushing that's on the inside with the grooved end should be on the bottom. The set screws are secured with Loctite. You will need to apply heat or use a torque wrench. Next, with a smaller Allen wrench, you will remove the 6 set screws from the machine. Next, you will remove the old crank pin from the machine. You will do so by spreading the crank links apart and removing the pin. If you are unable to separate crank links, you will need to call Doe Express customer service. You will see the difference in the new pin and the old pin by the small grooves on the new pin where the E-clips will be placed. Next, we will demonstrate the reassembly after the new crank pin has been installed. You will need to push the crank links together and tighten these 6 set screws. The bushing on the outside should be towards the top. The bushing that's on the inside with the grooved end should be on the bottom. You will then place the pin rod in between the two main links. You will place the bearing washers on each end of the new crank pin. Then, using your E-clip tool, you will apply the E-clips to the new crank pin. Replace the stop block. Rotate crankshaft so stop bar weldment meets the stop block. Next, you will replace the link stabilizers on both sides of the machine. To secure the link stabilizers in place, you will then replace the drive pins on both sides. You will need to remove the stop block from the machine. This will aid in putting the pin back in. You will move the handle to the upward position and replace the spring plate. You will replace the top pin into the link stabilizers. Replace both pin retainers. You will line up the holes on the pin retainers with the hole for the pin to go through on the back of the machine. Replace the pin into the machine. You will then replace the small plate with the two screws on both sides of the machine. And lastly, you will then replace the stop block. Once this is complete, the enclosure can be replaced.